What's up, Rivalers, and welcome to the Ultimate White Queen Guide. Emma Frost is a unique tank with the ability to literally mind control her enemies. In this guide, I'll be covering Emma's combos, playstyle, advanced tips, and more. So whether you're a complete beginner or a high-ranking player, this video is for you. Emma is a ranged vanguard that has some incredible offensive tools and, similar to Cloak and Dagger, the ability to change forms, giving her access to a whole second set of abilities. Her kit is quite simple. Her primary fire is a ranged psionic beam. Her secondary fire creates a shield for your team that you can place wherever you'd like. Her E ability pulls out a soul crystal from an enemy that you can destroy to deal massive damage. And her shift ability turns her into her iconic diamond skin form, making her immune to crowd control and changing all of her primary abilities. When in diamond form, your primary fire is now a 4-hit melee combo, your secondary fire is a huge sweeping kick that knocks enemies backwards, and your E ability is this super satisfying choke slam move. No matter which form you're in, Emma's ultimate mind controls enemies, which removes their ability to use ultimates, and once fully charged, makes them walk helplessly towards Emma. So let's go over each ability and teach you how to efficiently use each one. Emma's primary fire when in her normal form is a consistent beam of damage. This beam cannot crit on headshot. In fact, nothing in Emma's kit can headshot, so you should always be aiming for center mass to land as much of the beam as possible. And this beam is also very low range, at around 15 meters, and the more you land this beam, the more that this indicator will fill up from 0 to 100. And when it's fully charged at 100, this ability does a lot of damage. So you'll want to find ways to safely charge it up, and then once it's at or near 100, you can start playing a lot more aggressively. Though the good thing is that you can actually still gain charge from pretty much every destructible object in the game, like Penny's Nest, Strange Shield, Loki runes, and more. Emma's secondary fire when in her normal form is a psychic shield that she can project and place wherever she wants within her line of sight. You can hold right click down when casting the shield to move it further away, and you can press F to recall the shield. Upon being destroyed, it goes on a 4-second cooldown. Now, Emma's shield is only 500 HP, which is pretty weak compared to the other shield tanks in the game, like Magneto and Doctor Strange, but she more than makes up for that with her unique utility. Because you can project the shield far away, Emma isn't limited to only shielding allies directly behind her like other shield tanks. That means she can shield her allies from across the room without having to necessarily position right in front of them. Emma's range shield also functions as a bit of offensive utility because you can use it to deny enemies like Hawkeye on high ground from harassing your team, all without actually having to leave your team. Emma's E ability when in her normal form is a skill shot that when landed on an enemy, pulls out a crystal. Now, dealing damage to this crystal also damages the enemy hero, and when the crystal takes too much damage, it is destroyed and deals a nice pop of damage to the enemy. Now, you should always prioritize destroying this crystal once you've pulled it, but be aware that enemies can protect this crystal with shields or body blocking it, and they can make this crystal disappear by moving too far away from it. Using this crystal to get free guaranteed damage is nice, but it's also a great way to get free charge on your primary fire. And an advanced tip is that your primary fire beam actually pierces through the crystal and can hit heroes behind it, essentially doubling your damage and charging your beam twice as fast. So always try to line your beam up to hit both the crystal and your target for maximum efficiency. One more thing to note is that once you pull the crystal out of the enemy, you can continue damaging that crystal even if you no longer have line of sight of the actual hero. So pulling the crystal is a great way to finish off fleeing enemies who are about to round the corner. Emma's shift ability is what sets her apart from every other tank in the game. When activated, Emma turns her skin diamond, which makes her completely immune to crowd control, to reduce incoming damage, and this form gives you access to a whole new set of basic abilities. Your primary fire is now a 4-hit melee combo, which does great damage and is perfect for brawling on the front line. Emma's E ability when in diamond form is a choke slam move where Emma dashes forward and grabs a single target, locking them down and slamming them into the ground. This ability is great for disrupting the enemy front line, locking down those pesky divers and peeling your team, and it can be used to interrupt enemy ultimates. This ability is also Emma's only form of mobility, so you can use it to get some verticality, claim high ground, and move around the map a little faster from base. Emma's right click when in diamond form is this big sweeping kick that knocks back multiple enemies, and if you knock them into a wall, it will deal extra damage. This ability combos really well after using our choke slam. So a standard engage combo is to choke slam an enemy, then pivot around them and kick your target either into a wall for that extra damage, or kick them into your team, essentially kidnapping them and letting your team quickly blow them up. Alright, now let's get into Emma's ultimate. Emma becomes immune to crowd control and begins shooting mind control beams in a huge cone for up to 30 meters in front of her, and any enemy hit begins taking damage, loses their ability to use ultimates, and when this little diamond icon shown above their heads is fully charged, they begin helplessly walking towards Emma. Now the damage and CC on the mind control is always nice since it turns the enemy into a sitting duck, but the greatest value you can get from Emma's ultimate is removing the enemy's ability to counter ult. We've all had those team fights where your team's DPS uses an ult and then the enemy strategist pop their ults, essentially negating yours and turning their team immortal. Keeping the enemy strategist silenced and unable to ult enables your team to pop ults and wipe the team fight before the enemy has a real chance to meaningfully react. Now, just like with a lot of Marvel Rivals characters, Emma Frost has some really cool combo potential. So here's my favorite combo tech. When enemies get too close to you, you can project your shield behind them to block off their healing, animation cancel that by instantly pulling your crystal and switching to diamond form immediately. Then use your choke slam to dash forward and pin them behind you, essentially putting them directly on top of the crystal. That way you can damage both the crystal and the enemy at the same time. Then punch once and kick them into the wall. Stringing it all together looks like this, and can actually 100 to 0 a lot of characters. Now let's talk about some of Emma's strengths as a character. When Emma is in standard form, she is very good at holding space due to the damage on her psionic beam, especially at higher charges, as well as her crystals that can deal % current HP damage to enemies. And if enemies try to get closer and close the distance, she can swap to her diamond form, making great use of the damage reduction and CC immunity, as well as having a very nasty combo that can 100 to 0 tanks very easily if they try to get close to her. She also has the option to just straight up kidnap them into her backline, securing free KOs. Emma's ranged shield means you can do things no other shield tank can do, such as placing your shield behind the enemy front line and actually blocking them from getting heals. Emma also has a smaller hitbox than other tanks, making her a harder target to hit. I mean, her hips basically take up 90% of her hitbox. When in diamond form, you have really good disruptive CC and excellent peel. In fact, any squishy character that gets within close range of a diamond form Emma is almost certainly going to get one-shot comboed. That being said, she definitely has some shortcomings, so now let's talk about some of the weaker areas of playing the White Queen. Missing abilities in diamond form is very punishing because of its long cooldown at 15 seconds. When your diamond form is down, you are much more vulnerable and easy to punish, so you have to be very thoughtful of when you turn diamond and what your game plan is. You really do have to play safe when your diamond form is on cooldown, and playing safe is not really something that a lot of tanks want to do. Emma does have the tools to keep herself alive with her shield and diamond form, but at the end of the day, 650 HP is just not that much for a tank. Managing your primary fire beam can be difficult as well since it does have a shorter range and you begin losing charge really quickly. Luckily, your beam charge does not fall off while in diamond form, but constantly finding ways to keep it charged is a game in itself, and if you ever let it drop to 0, you are going to be tickling enemies. All in all, Emma is a very unique tank addition to the game, and her ability to silence ultimates is unbelievably valuable. Make sure that you're using your diamond form intelligently and with purpose to either negate crowd control, peel your strategist, or survive high burst. Want to maintain that beam charge and keep it at 100% for as long as possible, and use your ultimate to deny the enemy team's strategist from counter-ulting. If you follow this advice, you'll be putting the enemy team on their knees in no time. Let me know which character you'd like to see a guide on next, and I'll see you in the next one, Rivalers.